Paris is dressing up to host the Summer Olympics next year. But this time, it won't be just another edition of the Games. It will be the start of a new abnormal of mass surveillance never seen before. From 26 July to 11th August in 2024, the French government will turn Paris into a giant laboratory, and it will happen officially. Thank you for tuning in. This is Nadeem. You're watching Empire Diaries. Always eyes watching you, asleep or awake, indoors or out of doors, in the bath or bed, no escape. Nothing was your own except the few cubic centimeters in your skull. These lines are from 1984, George Orwell's famous book. It was written in 1949. Now fast forward to 2024. The city of Paris, where everyone wants to visit at least once in their lifetime, will turn Orwell's fictional dystopia into a reality. For the first time, artificial intelligence technology will be used to conduct full-spectrum video surveillance of lakhs of people who will visit Paris to watch and participate in the Olympics. Every individual will be watched by the French government. Big Brother will track each and every move. People's body language, their activities, and physical interactions will all be recorded, and the data will be analyzed real time by a shady AI technology. It will be a hardcore police state. Paris will be flooded with hidden cameras and public view CCTV cameras as well. Streets, shopping areas, venues, public squares, public transport, parking areas, visiting delegations, athletes, journalists, lakhs of tourists, lakhs of locals, migrants, minorities, protesters and dissidents. The French version of Orwell's Big Brother will watch everybody. They say they want to use AI technology to ensure that the Olympic Games take place safely. They say AI will help them spot unusual behavioral patterns and unusual movements among people. And that will help French intelligence and French police to take cautionary steps. The question is this a genuine justification for turning a tourist-friendly city into a surveillance state? Is it alright to snoop into the lives of innocent sports lovers? What is the guarantee that the French security forces will not have any biases? France has a dirty past of bullying its minority people. Will French cops become more hostile towards non-whites and migrants? In March this year, when French lawmakers happily okayed the Olympic surveillance bill, there was a strong pushback. Some MPs raised an alarm, but then they were selfish enough not to step down from parliament. The new law was challenged legally as well, but the High Court firmly supported it and dismissed the challenge. The surveillance law has drawn a wave of criticism from international activists and human rights bodies. They say the world's biggest sporting event will now become the most significant episode of human rights and privacy rights abuse. The European Union, which often stands up against privacy violations on European soil, questioned the move. It recently shot off a warning letter to the French Parliament. In the letter, the EU said that France is setting a surveillance example of the kind never seen before in Europe, using the Olympics as a pretext. Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch are two pro-Western watchdogs that routinely ignore violations committed in G7 countries. But in this case, both of them slammed the French government. Amnesty says the French government has effectively decided to counter the European Union's efforts to control the penetration of AI in our life. It fears that the program can permanently turn France into a dystopian surveillance state, and it can allow large-scale violations of human rights as well. Human Rights Watch is worried that the Olympics project can later set the stage for biometric spying of humans. It says the new plan is a step towards normalizing the use of exceptional surveillance powers. Here's a deeper problem that comes with the French plan. The government keeps saying that it is only for the safe conduct of the Olympics, right? But they are lying to you. The law will actually come into effect this year itself. In September and October, France will host the Rugby World Cup. The government decided to test this new surveillance system at that time. All 9 venues where the matches will be played will be placed under AI-based surveillance. Also, the surveillance law says that the snooping project will continue right up to March 2025, which is well after the 2024 Olympics. So clearly, it's not only about protecting the Olympic Games. Authorities have openly said that the law will come into force in the coming months at French festivals, large gatherings, special public events, basically any place involving more than 300 people. What does that tell you? It simply means that the Olympics is only an excuse. French people and visitors to France, especially in Paris, will soon start living in an undeclared police state. Now, the truth about modern day France is that no matter how blindly people love and worship the country, it is already an undeclared police state. France is one of few countries that has a formal military wing patrolling the streets as police. There's a national police force that handles the big cities, but thousands of small towns and villages are all patrolled by the militarized police force. It's called the National Gendarmerie. They are often criticized by human rights groups for crackdowns on migrants and minorities. Yes, it's true that France has seen multiple brutal terror attacks over the last decade. But then the French forces have also reacted in an equally wrong way, routinely targeting non-white residents and making them feel uneasy and unwelcome. 2 years ago, the French parliament presented what is called the National Domestic Security Bill. It sparked a huge nationwide debate. There were fears that neighborhood police personnel would become more armed and more militarized. There would be more surveillance. There would be police body cameras, use of drones, and armed private security firms. The bill basically tried to protect the French police from dissidents and critics. It is estimated that the country's video surveillance industry could grow by 5% between 2022 and 2027. The main push in the rising numbers is coming from the government, which wants to implement advanced video surveillance technologies such as facial recognition. As of last year, France had 1.65 million or 16.5 lakh CCTV cameras installed. It wasn't a surprise when France signed a major surveillance technology deal with Taiwan in April this year. French companies will help Taiwan build state-of-the-art surveillance drones. It's natural for the French corporations to be doing this, given their government's fascination for spying on their own people. The whole problem lies in the government's decision to tell the world and its own people that, look guys, we don't trust you for anything, so we will spy on all of you. And now that we have AI, we will use the best of modern technology to do that. And what is the deep impact of this Big Brother style surveillance? If you feel you are being watched and your movements are being filmed, you will always be on the back foot, isn't it? With surveillance comes increasing militarization of police. Once that becomes the new abnormal, you won't feel like moving around freely or expressing critical opinion. French presidents often lectured the world about human rights and freedom. But by cleverly misusing the 2024 Olympics, France is trying to turn its capital city into Orwell's Oceania. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, stay informed. For news and perspectives you don't see in any other media, follow our website empirediaries.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever we publish a special report. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. Send updates to our WhatsApp number 98210 45739.